My name is Mr. Warden. I primarily teach engineering and manufacturing for a living, but I also run a nonprofit company dedicated to helping people seek and pursue passions. And in this way, it behooves me to continue to demonstrate passion through hobbies and interesting things, and so I'm bringing you this video. Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, but more in-depth this time. We're going to take a look at one of my decks that I've been working on, the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Blue Eyes White Dragon is the most iconic monster in the game and has been since the first booster pack set in 1999. Over the years, tons of cards have been added to support the summoning, maintenance, and searching for Blue Eyes White Dragon. With 3,000 attack points, Blue Eyes used to be the strongest monster in the game, and it is the iconic monster of Seto Kaiba in the anime series. Let's take a look at the deck as it stands right now. 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. This is the original artwork as it was presented in 1999 for the card game. Blue Eyes White Dragon is the anchor monster. Everything we do centers around getting it onto the field and using it to make the plays we need when we need to make them. 3 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, whose effect reads as follows. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by revealing Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. You can only special summon Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon once per turn this way. The card's name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. This card requires having Blue Eyes White Dragon in the hand to get it on the field and use its destruction ability. However, perhaps its most powerful secondary effect is that its name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. A monster's name is only important in 3 main areas: deck building, fusion summoning, and monster effect requirements. For one, you can only have 3 copies of a particular card in your deck at any one time. That does not apply in this case because Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon's name is Blue Eyes White Dragon only in the grave or on the field. Some cards, like Cyber Harpy Lady, hold a stipulation that their name is always treated as something else. This means that even when deck building, a deck may only contain 3 cards whose names are always treated as that particular name. Because Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon's name is conditional, it is not held to the same restriction. But it is useful to us for fusion summoning. Fusion monsters always have listed on them which monsters one needs to fuse using polymerization in order to summon the selected fusion monster out of the extra deck. This is delineated by listing the required monsters' names. Because Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon's name is treated as Blue Eyes White Dragon when on the field or in the graveyard, we can use Polymerization and Alternative Dragon in order to summon our powerful fusion monsters, such as Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, Blue Eyes Alternative White, Blue Eyes Ultimate Alternative White Dragon, and Blue Eyes Neo Ultimate Dragon. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon is powerful. It too has several effects. For one, if it's in my hand or in my graveyard and a card on the field is destroyed, any card by the way, I can special summon it to the field from either place. When it attacks, I can send one opponent's card back to the hand, and it is 3,000 attack points, which isn't anything to sneeze at. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon is on thin ice. I only keep 1 copy because it can be difficult for me to find the opportunity to summon it, unless it's in the deck already. If I draw it for the first turn, it's more difficult to get it out there. My goal is to summon it via the effect of this card, White Stone of Ancients. More on that in a moment. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon's effect is that when it is summoned, I can pull Polymerization or a ritual spell from the deck to the hand, which not only gets me a copy of Polymerization into my hand, it thins my deck by removing an otherwise semi-problematic draw. At the end phase, Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon lets me pull a dragon monster into my hand from the deck. While it's in the graveyard, I can banish it and give dragon monsters on my field 1,000 extra attack. Chronicle Magician is in the same boat as Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. It's good, but situational. When a dragon-type monster is special summoned to my side of the field, I can special summon Chronicle Magician out of my hand in defense position. I can then target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician on my side of the field and grant it 2,500 extra attack points, which would give Blue Eyes White Dragon 5,500 points. A mighty sum indeed. Bestial Druiswarm and Bestial Magnum Hunt are summoned with the same condition, that I banish a light or dark monster from either graveyard. All of the cards in my deck fall under that designation, as well as a large percentage of cards that we fight against. Magnum Hunt, during the end phase of the turn it was summoned, allows me to bring a dragon monster to my hand. The Druiswarm, when it is destroyed, I'm allowed to destroy 1 special summon monster on the field of my opponent. Dictator of Dragons comes from a long tradition of Konami, the parent company, trying to make Blue Eyes White Dragon playable, and the design aesthetic is based on the Lord of Dragons from one of the earliest sets. The Dictator of Dragons allows me to send a Blue Eyes White Dragon copy from my deck to the graveyard. Then it special summons itself to the field. Subsequently, I can discard Blue Eyes White Dragon or another card that mentions it and special summon Blue Eyes from the grave. Because I just used Dictator of Dragon's effect, there is definitely a Blue Eyes in there and I can summon it to the field as well. Ghost Ogre is a utility staple. I can discard it to negate some certain opponent effects. Whitestone of Ancients and Whitestone of Legend are two level 1 dragon type tuner monsters with two different Blue Eyes support effects. Whitestone of Ancients during the end phase of the turn and is sent to the graveyard allows me to special summon a dragon monster to the field from the deck, which is very strong. Whitestone of Legend, immediately when it is sent to the grave I can pull Blue Eyes White Dragon to my hand from the deck. Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster are standard cards to destroy monsters and destroy spells and traps. 3 polymerizations to summon our powerful fusion monsters, usually Blue Eyes Tyrant and Dragon, more on that in a second. The Melody of Awakening Dragon, at the cost of 1 discard, I can pull 2 dragons from the deck to the hand. The stipulation is made so that it kind of is specific to Blue Eyes White Dragon, but a lot of things work. Foolish Burial allows me an easy way to send a monster to the grave, which I might need to do for a lot of reasons. Monster Reborn allows me to special summon a monster from either grave. Bingo Machine Go is a very specific card. I can pick 3 cards from that mentioned Blue Eyes White Dragon from my deck. 1 is picked from random, and that picked card is added to my hand. Again, useful for thinning the deck. I'm pretty happy to get any card for free, so it's great and has no cost. Super Polymerization for getting rid of stubborn, powerful monsters from the opponent's side of the field. It allows me to fusion summon using the opponent's monsters and cannot be interrupted or negated. Mirror Force and Solemn Strike are the only traps I run in this deck right now. Mirror Force reflects an attack to destroy opponent's attack position monsters. Solemn Strike negates an enemy summon or effect at the cost of 1500 of my life points. Coming down to the extra deck, 1 Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, 1 Blue Eyes Neo Ultimate Dragon, 2 Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. These all require Blue Eyes White Dragon, so it makes sense to have them. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon is a very nasty card. It can attack each of the opponent's monsters once each, and when it attacks, it can pull a used trap card from my grave and reset it to the field. That would stand to reason to run more trap cards, but c'est la vie, here we are. First of the Dragons can be pesky. It can't be destroyed by battle unless that battle is with a non-effect monster, a normal monster, such as Blue Eyes White Dragon. Borreload Furious Dragon is a fusion monster of 2 Dark Dragon monsters. Helps me control the board more readily during the opponent's turn. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is a pretty ubiquitous card in the game. It only requires 2 dark monsters to be summoned, and so it's great with Super Polymerization if the opponent is running any dark monsters at all. Mud Dragon of the Swamp, again bait for Super Polymerization, requires 2 monsters with the same attribute, which is very easy to summon. TG Hyper Librarian and Dark Dimension Soldier are in here because I wanted to be able to summon something on the chance that I have Dictator of Dragons and White Stones on the field at the same time. Gives me another step in that particular sequence. Number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy, is the only Xyz monster I play here. It has no more or less attack than one of my level 8 monsters by itself, so I rarely see the point. It allows me to negate spell cards, so if I find that to be a threat, I can bring this out for the utility. Borreload Dragon and Boral Sword Dragon are 2 link monsters I run here because I will sometimes end up with a full board of monsters and want to combo into something else. Again, more utility tools in the toolbox. Finally, Link Karibo is an easy way for me to send white stones to the graveyard to activate their effects, and Link Karibo helps to stall momentarily while I make my next move. Alright, let's duel. Sorry, it's been like 10 hours since I wrote that script, but things have already changed. Harpy's Feather Duster is out. Dragon Shrine is in. Dragon Shrine allows me to send dragon monsters from my deck to the grave, which I want to do because of Dragon's Mirror, which allows me to fusion summon monsters using monsters in the graveyard. Monster Reborn is also out. Photon Current and the Ultimate Creature of Destruction are 2 trap cards that I'm test driving. Trap cards hold an interesting place in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. One often sets them unclear if they'll ever get to be used, and so they can be excellent for mounting a comeback out of nowhere, which is fun. Okay, now let's duel. Sorry, it's now been like 3 weeks since I wrote that last little section of script, which means that this script is getting way out of hand. This is the deck in its current form. Photon Current and Ultimate Creature didn't make the cut. Okay, now let's duel. This is me. I'm right here. I'm talking as I'm playing. Here is the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck in all its glory. It looks wonderful, it's beautiful, and it will win us many matches, I'm sure. We're going to play 10 matches. We're going to play 10 games. Competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Is typically played in sets of 3, best 2 out of 3, but I'm going to play 10 individual singles, and we are going to put the stats on the screen as these things happen, and then we're going to analyze what made us lose the most and how can we improve the deck, just as a demonstration piece. I'm going to do the first one live in real speed. Here we go. I'm going to attempt to do my best to commentate. Here's me, silver rank. Uh-oh, oh, how fitting. How fitting our opponent is Seto Kaiba himself. Okay. My immediate thought is we're going to play Foolish Burial. We're going to send Whitestone of Legends to the graveyard, and that's going to bring Blue Eyes White Dragon to our hand. Nice. We're going to play Melody of Awakening Dragon. We're going to put Blue Eyes White Dragon into the graveyard with the discard. And we're going to pull up Blue Eyes Jet Dragon and another Blue Eyes White Dragon. We are now going to do the same thing we just did, because we have 2 Melody of Awakening Dragons. We're going to send Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard, and we're going to pull two more cards. We're going to pull Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon and our last Blue Eyes White Dragon out of the deck. It's very important that we know where those dragons are. We're going to special summon Alternative White Dragon by revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in our hand, and there we go. Lastly, we are going to activate Dragon's Mirror, and we're going to, on our first turn, special summon Blue Eyes Ultimate Alternative White Dragon. And that might not be a particularly smart move, only because it's just a monster. It's a regular old monster. The opponent is thinking. Please note that Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, the opponent cannot target or destroy it with card effects, so he's going to have to get enough attack points to destroy it. And he's going to have to be wary about what he leaves on the field, because our Ultimate Dragon has the ability to destroy one of their monsters all they please. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon is an incredible card, lots of good effects. Very, very useful. The opponent special summons Hieratic Dragon of Tefnolt. Dragon Shrine, we have that, and send some dragons to the graveyard. They set 1 card face down there, also playing Blue Eyes White Dragon. How fitting. How fitting. What an incredible coincidence. He also sends Rabid Dragon. I say he only because his name is Seto Kaiba. Monster Reborn from him to bring back Blue Eyes White Dragon, I imagine. Nope, Snapdragon. Rabid Dragon, excuse me, not Snapdragon. Rabid Dragon. Battle phase. Let's see what's going on. Bestial Druid Swarm, when it is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, we can activate its effect to destroy 1 card in the field, and we will do so against the Rabid Dragon. We're gonna destroy it just as well. Got too many attack points. That's the end of their turn. Okay. We're going to use Ultimate Dragon's effect. We're going to destroy 1 card on the field just because we can, because we're rude. 2 cards on the field, excuse me. Yes, because we use Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, we can target 3 cards whenever we use that ability, which is pretty cool. We're going to polymerize Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon using these 2 monsters from our hand. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, we're going to attack. And Alternative White Dragon cannot attack the turn that we activated that effect, but that's just as well, because we've got them on the ropes. But you never know, anything could happen. Anything can happen. That's pretty wild that they're also playing. No, set 1 card face down. I think we're going to take this. Uh-oh. Sword Revealing Light. We cannot attack for 3 turns unless we can find a way to destroy it. And we can with Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. It is going to buy him an extra turn, though. It will buy him an extra turn. Because we destroyed it, we can special summon Blue Eyes Jet Dragon out of the graveyard, which is going to be problematic for him as we attack with our 2 monsters that can attack. and we are victorious. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to attempt to commentate now on some matches. The first match, the first game, we're going to play 10 individual games. I set up my board to include Titanic Galaxy, just as a precautionary measure. He ends up playing a zombie deck using Zombie World to make sure all cards on the field and the graveyards are zombie-type monsters. That's going to become relevant in a moment here. As you can see, we're going back and forth, summoning monsters. My resources are dwindling, so are theirs. He ends up summoning Time Thief Redoer, and he's going to activate a card called Rivalry of Warlords, which is that card up there, which means that we are only allowed to control monsters of one type. Zombie World makes it so every monster on the field is a zombie monster, and so that sort of makes that card moot, but regardless. We end up in a back and forth kind of battle. 4,700 to 3,100 is where we're at right now. Turn 13. 13 turns have elapsed at this point, and we're going in fast motion. I'm doing what I can. I'm doing what I can to halt his play. He's got a lot of cards on the field. He's got a lot of plays to make. I believe I'm going to end up losing this particular game, although I'm doing my best. As you can see, they've taken control of my monsters, and that has caused me to lose. Second game, we are going to set up alternative white dragon. That's what we see first. This is a Scareclaw deck. It's got some Scareclaw cards. As you can see, lots of different stuff going on. I'm not going to attempt to catch everything. I'm going to end up trying to use Dragon's Mirror to summon a powerful monster and end up losing. I surrender. Next game, we are going to end up with alternative white dragon and Link Karibo on the field. And we are going to see a kind of chaos deck here. As you can see, lots of light monsters, dark monsters, chaos space, tokens. We're going to end up with lots of monsters on the field. We're going to end up doing a ton of damage, and I think we're going to end up winning this one unless he does something right now. 4,500 attack ain't nothing to sneeze at. 3,500 is nothing to sneeze at. They're coming back. This is not looking good for us. We end up with lots of monsters. Oh, I'm going to end up with one versus one dragon. End up with my bestial monsters really came in handy right then. Next game, we're going to end up with Blue-Eyed Jet Dragon on the field. Lightning Storm doesn't affect us. This is a Numerons deck, which includes these monsters that have 1,000 attack. When they attack, they double all of their friends' attack points. And you're going to see their attack points double, and then double again, and then to 8,000. And I think that's going to cause us to... Nope, we didn't lose there. We have 6,400, 7,100. We're going to continue to battle. Link Karibo, Bestial, Grua Swarm, Blue-Eyes Jet Dragon. Lots of thinking going on. They sacrifice my monsters to summon Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode, and then I'm gonna lose. Next game. Going second this time. We're gonna end up with Dragon Shrine, Dictator of D, Link Karibo. We're gonna end up with First of the Dragons, interesting choice from past me. We're playing against Trap Tricks. Trap Tricks are very annoying cards. Very annoying archetype to play against. We're going to win that one. Next game, we're going to see lots of monsters. We have lots of monsters in them on the field. Dragoonity, something in there. He's going to end up with some monsters on the field. Nothing really significant going on, I don't think. Normal everyday cards, relatively straightforward. He ends up using one of my monsters to link summon that same monster that I use, Underworld Goddess of the Chaos World. Venom Fusion Dragon I don't think has accomplished anything, and I'm basically out of resources right now, as you can see. I don't think I'm going to survive. Although I may have thought that. Okay, I surrendered that one. Okay, here we go. Bestial Grua Swarm, Dictator of D, Link Karibo, Alternative White Dragon. Lots of things going on. We're going to see DDD deck, which is with D/D. Never mind, it's not important. We're getting lots of monsters coming out, lots of pendulum monsters. We haven't really even talked about pendulum monsters, but they can act as two different kinds of cards. It's kind of cool, I guess. We're going to end up facing a large number of monsters that are very powerful, more powerful than mine, including the boss monster of the DDD deck. Didn't matter, we won anyway. Very good. Next game, we end up with alternative White Dragon, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, Link Creep, where we're going to be facing some water monsters. It looks like fish monsters. Yes, water monsters, Silent Honor Dark, seem to be... He ends up with 5,000 attack points. I'm down to 3,000. Here we go. I'm mounting a comeback. Gonna end up with 3 versus 3 monsters. No. Into battle. I'll take it. I think I counted that one. We're playing against a Gravekeeper's deck, which is a problem, which means that cards can't be taken into and out of the graveyard, which is annoying, especially for my deck. Especially if I want to use Dragon to Mirror, which I really can't right now, and I'm probably going to end up losing this relatively straightforwardly because, yep. 5 wins, 5 losses, 50-50. And isn't that just the way in Yu-Gi-Oh? At the end of the day, does it really just come down to 50-50? A coin flip? Rock, paper, scissors? Does it really just come down to who goes first? Upon further analysis, there is a marginal correlation between whether or not I go first and victory, but 10 duels is a paltry sample size for any kind of testing. More rigorous testing is required for this matter. How might I go about improving this deck? The games I primarily lost for 4 different reasons. Games 2 and 3 I lost primarily because I could not get rid of his spell trap cards. That makes sense. This deck has 0 spell and trap removal except Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, which only bounces cards back to the opponent's hand. Dragon Titanic Galaxy is really only good for 1, and Black Rose Dragon is difficult to bring out consistently. Another reason I lost was because I just didn't have enough attack points. In one duel, I was 300 points short. The way we might get around that is another super polymerization to perhaps remove the opponent's stubborn monsters. Actually, this is true for the final game as well. If we could have destroyed Necro Valley before monsters came out, we could have neutralized his first play, but you can bet they'd have a backup strategy. I don't want to make a large number of changes after only 10 duels, but if I was going to make a change, I would add one more super polymerization and maybe add a Lightning Storm, which allows for some flexibility. In order to keep the deck to a 40 card minimum, I'd have to get rid of something. I think I'd ditch 1 Dragon Shrine for super polymerization. As far as another card to get rid of, I don't really want to get rid of anything, so I may just add in Lightning Storm on top of my 40 to have 41. Let's see how that goes. This is my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. The Lightning Storm is optional. I hope you enjoyed this video and diving back into Yu-Gi-Oh! With me. I definitely have more videos on deck as I continue to learn and grow in this hobby. Thank you for spending the time here with me. Make sure to check out our other channels and our social media accounts. And remember to live the curious life.